And when we were going through that cancer journey, it was also very difficult for me to process my own emotions while helping my children process theirs, while being a caregiver, while being a mother. All of these things at the same time, I knew I needed help. And there wasn't really anything out there. We did have the kids in therapy, but 1 hour a week was not necessarily beneficial for me at home when we were having dinner or doing bath time or bedtime. And they would ask those hard questions. All of that to say, about a year after his passing, everyone kind of thought grief would end at a year, right? What are you going to do? Where are you going to go?
What's next?
I really had no idea. So I sent my kids to my parents, and I spent a week praying and fasting and asking God to give me some direction on what am I supposed to do? How am I going to take care of these 3 kids on my own? I was just really struggling with what I was going to do to provide for my family. Looking back, I got to the end of that week and I had been given this vision for this program, but I did not realize what it was. I knew that what God had given me would have helped my family, and I gave it to a nonprofit.
Your focus at Little Hearts of Hope is on the healthy coping skills, which I have to imagine that as you were building Little Hearts of Hope, because your children were 5, 7, and 8 when their dad died, that they were part of that mission with you. Talk to me about how your children benefited from Little Hearts of Hope.
Well, I'll say, first of all, I did not create the curriculum on my own.
Okay.
I went to a social worker with hospice, to a play therapist, and then elementary school counselor. And I said, hey, here's this vision that the Lord has given me. How can I use this in a way? I'm not a therapist, and I want to equip families to strengthen families. Parents are not therapists. How can we help families like this? So we teased out how creative expression is something like parents teach their kids healthy coping skills, or they teach them unhealthy coping skills, right? So parents are the ones who ultimately are teaching those things to their children. So creative expression, play, art, creative writing, those are all healthy ways to manage emotions that are really fruitful for young kids. They're great for adults too.
Sure.
But children are going to benefit from that much more than talk therapy because they don't have the experiential knowledge. They don't have the language.
To even be able to articulate what's going on in their mind. Yes.
Correct. And so they helped me understand how we can do this in a way that is not providing therapy. They then talked me through, these are the most common emotions that kids will experience when they are watching a loved one suffer like this. And so we created this curriculum of, number one is just like you were saying, the emotional vocabulary. Let's make sure we know some feeling words. Let's be able to connect them to facial expressions so that kids can start learning that. And then secondly, the second part of our program is, where am I feeling? So what am I feeling in my stomach? What am I feeling in my face, in my hands? Is my heart racing? So you start to connect the mind and the body together. And then the next 10 months are different emotions.